Okay, so hello to whoever is watching, and if you are watching, then do pop a comment on the side, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. So you're welcome to the monthly live stream. If you're new to memberships, then I do a live stream once a month, and it's an opportunity for you to ask anything you like about different type of plants. Obviously, I don't grow everything, so if it's something that I don't know about, I will tell you that, and I'll look up some information for you in that. So if you're interested in finding out anything else about a particular plant, then do let me know before the live stream. Okay, so today, just to shake it up a little bit, I thought I would tell you about 3 plants that are looking really great in my greenhouse at the moment, and I just can't wait to share with you. So let me just down here and fetch up the first one. Okay, so this here is Gasteraloe Green Ice. I'm not sure we're going to get the whole thing into the picture, but you can see it's a succulent and it is in flower, and you have never seen anything as magnificent as this. I do appreciate that the colors aren't up to scratch on the live stream, but here we have a pale peach on the flowers and a cream with green markings, and this spike is at its perfection now. The plant itself, you may have guessed from looking at it, has something of the aloe about it. And this is Gasteraloe, basically a cross between aloe plant, an aloe plant, and a gasteria. And gasteria are, a closely allied plant that a hybridization was possible with. Gasteria are great for kind of a less than full sun position in a greenhouse. And there's some cute little cultivars out there like little warty. However, when you cross an aloe with a gasteria, you get something similar to this. And this is a particular cultivar called Green Ice. And you can see what a beautiful, beautiful thing it is. Fantastic. So the outer succulent leaves have a cream edge to them. There are cream dots, and there's a kind of mossy green color to the leaves in general. A really, really handsome plant that makes pups in the same way as aloes do. Anyway, it's quite prolific. I divided some pups off it last year and got several, which are doing well in the greenhouse. But it's just has a very perfect form that makes it a very desirable house plant. Now you can grow this in a greenhouse like I do, or you can grow it on a windowsill, a sunny windowsill. Certainly in my country, in Ireland, you would grow it on a sunny windowsill. Perhaps if you live in sunny Florida, you might have to put it in a slightly more shaded position. But I love it, and I love the flowers. Look at those. They really are gorgeous. So, so special. And I hope that this will still be in flower by the time I make the greenhouse update video, but you can see that it's beginning to fade just a little bit here at the base. So it mightn't be, but at least you got to see it anyway. So that's Gasteraloe Green Ice, the first plant I want to tell you about today. And let's get the second one. So, also from my greenhouse, we have Albuca spiralis, which is a plant that is definitely having a good hair day. And you can see how its leaves are curled. They come up out of the ground and they curl around and around in this most appealing manner. It's in flower at the moment. It is just going over. There were 3 flowers a little while ago. There's 1 left, a cute little yellow flower striped with green. Very pretty on top of the leaves, but obviously it's a plant that's grown for its leaves. Now this is a South African bulb. It's essentially a bulb, so you would treat it Just excavating down here. I hate this. This has been repotted, but as you can see, oh no, maybe it's just, oh, okay. It's just the sheaths around the bulb. No alarm. I'll retract that last statement. Anyway, Albuca spiralis, a lovely little thing. Low maintenance again, because it comes from very hot climate. Grow it in full sun. You can grow it on a south-facing window. It will do great. Wait till it dries out completely between waterings, and hopefully it will flower for you. If not, you will definitely get these curly leaves that are very, very nice. Now, if you do have one of these, don't be tempted to straighten them out, because you can straighten them out if you pull. I'm not going to do it because I did it when I got it first. I was kind of playing with the leaves and I stretched it and it didn't spring back again. So that was very disappointing. But I have a full head of leaves at the moment and I want to keep it that way. So there we go. Albuca spiralis. Gorgeous little thing for a pot. And what else have we got? Now, just show you this plant, which is in a clay pot, and its leaves, which are slightly spiny, and it is in flower at the moment. Now, can you see? It has a flower spike here, pink flower spike. The pink bits are the flower spike. There's another one coming here. There's one here with just opening at the top where you can see the blue. And there's a further advanced one over there. There's also a little one down here at the back and another little one here. So basically, this is gearing up to give a full flowering. And this is Billbergia nutans, a plant from Brazil and adjacent countries. And look. This really is the most elegant thing that you're going to see. These flowers are beautiful, so graceful. And the way it comes up like this, and it's like the bracts open up and the flower comes out and just droops down. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Now, this is actually a bromeliad, so an epiphyte, essentially. It's something that grows on trees. I obviously have it potted here in a well-draining mix, and it's one I take very little care of. It lives in my greenhouse, and during the summer, I wait until it dries out before watering, and then every spring, I'm rewarded for my lack of work by an beautiful flowering and a surprising flowering, because I always forget about it. And then suddenly these pink spikes come up and then these gorgeous flowers come down. So it's something that is, it's lovely, really, really lovely, low maintenance, and one that takes very low temperatures. I can't recall off the top of my head exactly how low a temperature you can keep this one at, but I do believe like -10 or something centigrade. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. So it could take really low temperatures. I don't keep it at that because it's in a greenhouse that doesn't drop below 5 degrees. However, it doesn't need those extremely low temperatures to trigger flowering. And yeah, this is a very special thing and I like it a lot. Now, unfortunately, because it's a bit spiny, it is dusty and I haven't cleaned it off because it's just that little bit difficult to clean off. I am, however, going to invest in a set of makeup brushes for the sole purpose of cleaning off my cactuses that have a lot of dust and cobwebs and stuff like that on them, and hopefully we'll get them all looking quite spruce and nice at the moment. So do let me know down below which is your favorite of these three plants. Is it the epiphytic Billbergia nutans here with its pink spires and its hanging blue flowers? Is it Albuca spiralis with its good hair day and yellowy green flowers? Or is it the Gasteraloe, the cross between the aloe and the gasteria, which is now in spike and has the most fantastic form, green ice. Do you know which one you like the best? I'm going to put this down now and I will let you know what's been going on. So busy here at the moment. I am doing a lot of repotting of orchids because, of course, they've started into growth, and that's the perfect time for repotting them if you can spare the time to do it. And unfortunately, that's the thing about spring, like everything sort of has to be done at the same time. The orchids want repotting at the same time as the garden needs weeding and seedlings need potting on, and it just all has to be done. So there's always a bit of a rush in spring, and I always think it's just so great that we all enter into spring being energized from having a long winter rest. We have extra energy, and it's just what is needed by our plants at this time of year. So I'm repotting orchids. I am not quite sure whether I will bother to make a lot of orchid repotting videos. I mean, I just think sometimes, does the world really need another orchid repotting video? However, I think, you know, there are some people, like some of you, like Wanda, for example, have mentioned that you really do like the orchid videos. So I don't know, maybe I'll put orchid repotting clips just up here on the membership tab for you guys to have a look at. I don't know, we'll see. So there's that, and I am busy. Well, I've done a couple of things in the greenhouse, one of which was to clean it up, to remove a strip of the bubble wrap from the very top of the greenhouse, which I did in order to allow extra space for my 2 Furcrea plants to move in. You will recall the Furcrea plants that are in spike at the moment. This is the plant that I've waited 11 years to see its flowers. So I was not going to allow those spikes to be damaged anyway. So the Furcrea went from the greenhouse to the glass house, and then it went outdoors, and then we had a couple of nights of frost, and you will have seen that photo I put up there where I set up a temporary shelter for the Furcreas just to make sure the frost didn't get on them, and it has worked, and fingers crossed we don't get any more frost, because those things are so tall now they wouldn't even fit in the house. There's no way they'll go anywhere. So the greenhouse, I've been tidying it up a little bit. I have given all my cactuses and succulents their second watering of the season now at this stage. Second one went in today. I usually keep them completely dry in winter, and now they're waking up. And the border that is planted up with tropical things within the greenhouse, I cut that back recently. You saw me cut back the Brugmansia in the Brugmansia pruning video, but I cut back a lot of things. And you're going to see in the video that I record soon for you. In the other greenhouse, a lot of seedlings are up and going, and you will also see more about them when I get to making that video. Outdoors, oh my goodness, so much to do in the garden. I'm laying my own mulch, which is made from my own compost, and weeding, cutting back, all the things that need to be done, and just in anticipation for the first groups to come to the garden. Well, not just yet, but you know, you can't do everything very quickly. You need to take a slow run at it. So you need to start early and just keep at it. Like if I can do 2 hours every day, I'm doing good. Everything is going to go to plan. But of course, we can't always spare 2 hours every day, but so it goes. And that, I guess, is all for the moment. Thank you very much for watching retrospectively, and I will see you soon. Okay, that's all. Thanks a lot. Bye.